Let me start again because I don't think I have my sound on. Disney, in a $1 billion move, is blaming DeSantis for not coming. Um, what went on is that Disney was planning to move all of their cast members' jobs, including most of the Imagineering from California to Florida. Now they're saying they don't want to make this move because of DeSantis and this lawsuit that's being brought about. Um, and the story basically it's a one-sided rant about Disney. And I find that whenever liberals want to deceive you or trick you into supporting something, they always talk about the economics. I think it's more psychological. When they want to convince you of something, they either use fear or they use economics or they make you a victim. Somehow you're going to be harmed by this, or they really aren't respecting you. So you should be offended and you should go out and behave a certain way. It's like if you want to trigger women, you tell them that if you want an abortion, you don't have control of your body. Oh my God, the government's making policy against your body. And these women, in a fit of emotion, say, yeah, you're right. I'm going to go out and I'm going to vote on a single subject and destroy the country. But they don't tell you the other side of that is that you as an individual have agency over your body. Not that the government is making policy against your body. You as an individual have agency to say, I'm not going to engage in irresponsible behavior that will cause me to get pregnant and then maybe have to decide to get an abortion. So the problem isn't abortion. The problem is not the government. The problem is irresponsible individuals who go out, commit irresponsible acts, and they will tell you this. They'll say, I went out and had a one night stand with a guy and I don't like him. Or I'm not ready to have a baby. Or I'm not financially capable of having a baby and supporting it. So you have to backtrack and say, well, why are you out there committing irresponsible behavior? It's not the government. It's not the law. It's you. But we live in a society that says individual responsibility is no longer a thing. Let's trash it and blame everyone else. And in the case of Disney, the media is telling you about the financial benefits that Florida is going to get. And it's also saying that, they were building new homes because of this move. They weren't building homes because of Disney. They're probably building homes in Florida because a lot of Californians and a lot of people from around the country are moving there because they like DeSantis. They're not going to tell you that. They like freedom. They like the tax breaks. Some people like the sun if they're older. They like the climate. There's a lot of reasons people are moving to Florida and a lot of reasons why people are going to have no reason. It won't have any reason to do with Disney. Matter of fact, I'm surprised Disney's still around. With all the scandals that the media is not talking about, they're not talking about, the people in the costumes that are molesting children. They're not talking about all the scandals of the employees and children. They're not talking about Disney's content that is pushing adult material onto children. It promotes rebellious behavior of children against their parents. Disney is morally bankrupt. I'm not sure why parents subject their children to Disney and then they turn around and say, why are my children behaving this way? People, nothing is new under the sun. There's nothing that hasn't been done before that we're doing today. You have the internet, yeah. But the internet is just an extension of what was already there. I bet if you go back and you find the radio, there were probably some people who said, don't listen to that radio because it's going to be your downfall. I was talking to a patient of mine the other day, and he said, my father said, when he looked at the television, he said, that thing right there is going to be the downfall of society. And she said the reason why he said that was because he looked at the children who were so mesmerized by the screen. And they had the incident where I believe it was Orson Welles did the radio broadcast talking about aliens taking over the world. And people believed it. It struck fear in the hearts of many until they found out it was just a prank. People are gullible. People follow. They don't research. They don't lead. The majority of people in the world are followers. They do what they're told. There are very few people who can be patriots and leaders. People who will stand up and say, hey, this isn't right. We're not going to stand for it. And just like the founding of this country, there were a handful of men who came up with the idea. It wasn't thousands of people coming together saying, hey, let's hammer out this Constitution, this Bill of Rights, hammer out the foundation for this country. It wasn't. It was a handful of men who were strong enough and had the courage to come together and say, we want a better way of living. And they disagreed until they finally figured out something that was decent. Is it perfect? No. But it was decent enough to stand till today. Was everyone privy to it? No. Did everyone participate in it? No. Did they allow everyone to participate in it? No. There were stipulations to everything in the founding of this country. And today they want everyone to participate because they know they can sabotage the country by letting low information voters, uneducated voters, people who have no stake in the country, people who want something from the country, and they will vote based on emotion. Emotions are bad because it makes people do stupid things. And here in Disney, they want to cover up all the flaws and all of the controversy going on with Disney and focus on the money. They want to tell you, oh, DeSantis is killing jobs by not allowing Disney to do its thing. Well, they said the same thing about gay marriage. Oh, we should have gay marriage because do you know how many weddings are going to take place and how much money will be made? That's not a reason to endorse immoral behavior. Behavior that is immoral is more than just $1, because $1 can come and go. Immoral behavior will follow you forever. And we see it in our country today. You have our children confused as hell because you have teachers who don't want to teach. They want to indoctrinate your child. They're bringing their lifestyle into the classroom, and no one is doing anything about it. Now, when you start to touch a child, then they want to throw you in jail, but it's too late then. The child is still scarred. In this case of Disney, they're not telling you the ills of Disney. They're not telling you why the lawsuits are being brought. They're not telling you why DeSantis doesn't want to deal with Disney. Disney is sick. Disney should be run out of business. People should have standards on what is called entertainment. We should have standards on what athletes should be doing when they're taking our money to entertain us. Don't shame the crowd, the public that pays you by calling them racist. I don't need your activism. I need you to entertain me. Make me laugh. Make me forget about life for a minute. Then if in your free time, when you want to be an activist, I can ignore you. But when I'm wanting to watch a game or watch a movie, I don't need your activism. Obviously, your activism isn't very good. It's not important because you're not going to do it outside your profession. So they're trying to get you while you're a captive audience and abuse you. It is abuse of the public. And speaking about abuse of the public, Joe Biden is at it again. And just like when he was with Barack Obama, these guys are just, they're inept. They just can't do anything right. And this bad Iran deal that they had under Barack Obama, when they sat here and said they had a nuclear agreement, but they failed to tell you that Iran didn't sign that agreement. It was trust. So you're going to trust a terrorist state and take their word that they're not going to engage in nuclear activity. That is Barack Obama in a nutshell. Nothing but fraud, smoke, and mirrors. That's who Barack Obama was and is. AP reports U.S. moves to advance prisoner swap deal with Iran and release $6 billion in frozen Iranian funds. But they also tell you that they have a sanctions waiver. I'll read it for you. The Biden administration has cleared the way for the release of 5 American citizens detained in Iran by issuing a blanket waiver for international banks to transfer $6 billion in frozen Iranian money from South Korea to Qatar without fear of U.S. sanctions. Well, under this regime, this criminal regime, they have run all of our allies into the arms of China and Russia. Now you have Iran, who is basically building drones for Russia and basically sending them other weapons to fight the Ukrainian war, which they're winning. Despite anything you hear, the Russians are winning. And truth be told, if Putin wanted to end the war, he could in a day or two. He could bomb Ukraine out. But he doesn't want to. He wants them to come to the table and surrender and save themselves. But the Biden administration, they don't want them to go. They want this war. You have a criminal enterprise in the United States supporting an illegal war by proxy. And we are sitting here and no one is calling this man. If Trump would have started a war without the blessing of the American people in Congress, they have his head. Joe Biden is waging war against Russia via Ukraine, and no one is complaining. They're saying, just give up your money. Where's your money going? We don't know. Where's our equipment going? Well, our equipment is being destroyed. So the Russians are saying that equipment is worthless. They're jamming our GPS systems so the systems don't work. They're destroying the equipment. That's why they keep begging for more equipment. If the Ukrainians were winning, they wouldn't ask for any more equipment. They say, hey, we're winning. Thanks for the equipment. They keep begging for money because they're losing badly. But you have Sleepy Joe, and he is sleepy, over here working out a deal with Anthony Blinken, the worst Secretary of State to ever disgrace the office. He signed off on a sanctions waiver late last week, A month after U.S. and Iranian officials said an agreement in principle was in place. Here we go again. An agreement. These guys can't get anyone to agree to anything. Congress was not informed of the waiver decision until Monday. So, once again, this guy is a dictator making moves without the blessing of the American people or Congress. And Congress is supposed to be the American people, but Congress is basically a bunch of rogue individuals that are doing their own business and enriching themselves. They don't care about the American people. They don't represent us. This government is not representative of the people. We need to send regular people. If you've been in politics in the last 10 years, you should be voted out. We need the regular guy on the street who understands. Let me be clear. We need regular people who understand what's going on in this country, what goes on outside of this country, to represent the people. We need people who are in the community advocating for issues of the community to go to Washington. We don't need special interest groups. We need regular Joe Schmo grandpa or the business guy to say, hey, we need this in this community for it to grow. We need better security in our community for it to grow. And that's why people were sent to Washington. They said, hey, there are deficits in our community. You are articulate enough to go there and let them know what we need. And you will fight for us. But you'll come back to your regular job and live in your home, and we'll be proud of you as a representative. Today, these guys go to Washington. They have 2 homes. They have a nice salary. They get lobbied. They get free money. They increase their wealth, and they forget about you. Then they come back around election time and say, oh, yeah, remember me? Oh, yeah, I'm never around, but hey, send me back because I'm making a lot of money, and I'm working for you. Congress was not informed of the waiver until Monday, according to the notification, which was obtained by the Associated Press. The outline of the deal has been previously announced and the waiver was expected, but the notification marked the first time the administration said it was releasing 5 Iranian prisoners as part of the deal. The prisoners have not been named. You don't have a government that cares about you. You have a government that cares about illegals. You have a government that pays illegals more than it pays its retired citizens. You have a government that gives free health care to people who aren't citizens. You have a government that is giving free money monthly to people who aren't citizens. Free health care, free education, free child care. That's socialism, but still, they offer nothing to the American people. If you're retired, I think you should be able to get a livable wage to retire in peace if you worked. If you worked all your life, by the time you get to retirement age, there should be something the government has stolen from you. You should be able to say, you know what, I can retire and not have to live on dog food. I should not have to worry about if I'm going to get my medication. I'm not talking about everybody. I'm saying those who actually worked. If you want to be a bum, you get nothing. But if you're a hardworking citizen and you had a job and you worked your whole life, you didn't take from the system, I think there should be some form of health care for you. There should be a standard of life for you. You shouldn't be on the street. You shouldn't be afraid when you get old. But in this country, the people who call themselves citizens don't matter. I think we need to stop thinking solely about parties. But if we're going to think about parties, you have 2 different parties with 2 different platforms. You have a party that says, one, We believe in America. We believe in America first. We believe that America should be for Americans and it should benefit Americans. We believe in the Constitution and the rule of law. And on the other side, you have people who believe in anarchy, bullying, immorality, sexual freedom, indoctrination, destruction of structure, the structure of families. And they're saying it in your face, they're doing it in your face, but they're also selling you fear that the people who love the country are radicals. They tell you that the people who love this country are white supremacists. They tell you the people who love this country are racist and hate mongers. And you should fear them. We should eradicate those people. And all the while, people endorse the immorality of that party. Epstein wasn't a conservative. Weinstein wasn't a conservative. They were all Democrats. They hung out with the Democrats. They hung out with the Hollywood elites. And no one is connecting the dots. It's time for us to take a pause and look at ourselves as Americans and decide that either we are going to change the course of this country and be selective with who we send out. I don't care if you are a liberal and you have some morals and you are a Christian and you believe in the principles of this country. I say that's fine. But if you're a liberal trying to usher in socialism, Marxism, fascism, you should be out of office, because that is not what America is about. And until we do that, we are going to suffer and we will disappear. I've gone too long. See you on the other side. Until next time, this is your boy Ace Capone saying peace. I'm gone.